Hi, Sam Goodman here, author of Life 6 Buckets and creator of the Fulfillment Source Code. Welcome back to Life 6 Buckets, Chapter 8. Now, if you missed the last one, we put Chapter 6 and 7 together. You really should check it out. It contains a mistake just about every miserable person alive has committed, and it's a really easy one that you can avoid. Now, up next is the chapter most adults and almost all parents immediately dislike, well, at first. All right, let's get to it. Why your parents got it wrong. All right, real quick. If you're a kid and you're doing this together with your parents, awesome. Just take it easy on your parents on this one. Now, if you're an adult and you're reading this along with your child, well, I hope you're laying down or sitting down and don't take it too personal because you're not alone on this one. Okay, here we go. Now, when I was a kid, my father used to say, "It's okay to make mistakes, just try to not make the same mistake twice," which I thought was fair. And then one day, I saw an ant walking along the rim of a wide, shallow bowl. And the ant walked along the edge, made a full circle, and kept walking. It went around the dish 3 times. And it dawned on me that it would continue on this path because it could not see the mistake that it was making. I mean, if you think you're right, you'll continue doing what you used to doing. Now, if you don't realize a mistake is being made or that there may be a better way of doing something, then you'll probably continue to do what you're used to. Oh yeah, I blew that ant off the dish and then it continued on its way. When I was a kid growing up, life seemed simple. To be happy, one simply needed success, fame, or wealth, and with one of those, really it was up to whatever you wanted, love and friends would naturally happen. The prescribed and desired path was to go to school and then on to university in order to better one's chances in life. Now, in some ways, this study smart and work hard for your goal path was very effective. I mean, it certainly increased the individual examples of success, fame, and wealth, but not as in a sense of fulfillment. In fact, the number of people who feel unhappy, hopeless, and empty, including those who've actually achieved their goals, has increased. Now, we're going to skip over the doom and gloom of depression and opioid crisis epidemics. You see, why people do what they do? This has always fascinated me. Now, in my university psychology class, I learned of Maslow's pyramid and how becoming one's best self was considered to be the high point in the process of life. However, after compiling the work of leading experts in neurology, psychology, biology, nutrition, and genetics, I realized that 1, what we thought would make us happy was simply too simple. And number 2, Maslow never meant his work to be seen as a step-by-step pyramid. Generally speaking, we were indirectly taught that life is basically a simple math problem. A times B times C with some other stuff equals feeling fulfilled or not. We were told to KISS, keep it simple, sweetheart, or stupid, or Sam, whatever. We would insert our goals, for example, A equals success, B equals wealth, C equals love, or choose fame, expertise, family, adventure, whatever you want. And away we went, attempting to achieve our dreams and our goals. Some never actually set goals, so they just keep plodding along. Now, some never attain their goals, so they continue striving, reaching, and a rare few, well, they manage to attain everything that they set out to do. Over time, a person's identity is highly influenced by the goals that they strive for. And what typically happens when a person considers themselves quote unquote, not happy enough, is they figure they simply have not yet reached quote unquote, enough in their chosen pursuits. And that's easy to conclude if one has not yet reached their goals. But for those who have reached their goals, these people then double their efforts. Think about it. Wherever they are in life, they feel somewhere in their choices of A, B, and C, it's clearly not enough. So if little A times B times C and this other stuff equals not fulfilled, well, then for them, the logical step is a bigger A times B times C with this other stuff. Must equals must be fulfilled. And so they work harder. they spend even more time and effort on the path that they've already spent years, maybe decades on. Like for those who have met with success, they understandably think, you know what, I've done pretty well so far, so more must be better. If a person wants money, say they have $5 million in the bank, they figure they need to make more money, like 15, and then they will be happy. Now, if a person has a business, they feel they need to make that business bigger, then they will be happy. So if a person wants some fame, they feel they need more fame, then they will be happy. If a person wants a house or a car, then they need a bigger house or a better car, and then they will be happy. You get the point? Now, you just read Life's 6 Buckets, so this may sound silly or appear obvious, but to be fair, they're essentially doing what they were taught. They were taught to keep it simple. Just focus on a few things and the rest will sort itself out. A times B times C with this other stuff equals fulfilled life score. But the full equation isn't A times B times C with other stuff. It's A times B times C times D times E times F equals fulfilled life score. And we know that any number, no matter how big, multiplied by 0 is still 0. Think about it. What is 9 times 8 times 7 times 0 times 5 times 7 times 0? Or what is 8 times 8 times 8 times 8 times 8 times 8 times 0? It's all 0. Ultimately, a neglected bucket is an empty bucket. And when one of your buckets is empty, you feel empty. So remember, balance your buckets. Again, now in all fairness, what else would you expect if you weren't taught the full equation? Okay, here's a bit of a shortcut. Now you may have heard, quote, you have to take care of yourself before you can take care of others, unquote. This is airplanes, right? Like you can't save the child if you're passed out from lack of oxygen. And this totally applies for crashing airplanes. Now, I really hope that your life is not constantly in crashing airplane mode. Now, if you can avoid the extremes, the self-absorbed, always me first, or its opposite, the never ever me, also known as always others, you can naturally sense that there's more. Again, humans are mammals and mammals are social animals. Our brains have actually been social longer than they've been human. Again, we're hardwired to be social. Sometimes helping others is the best way to help ourselves.
Hi, Sam Goodman here, still. Okay, it wasn't so bad, was it? I hope you enjoyed it and can see how you can get yourself out of crashing airplane mode. Now, coming up next is the question I get asked the most. Now again, if you're enjoying this book, please hit subscribe because there's so much more. And again, if you're learning something, share it with those you love. All right, see you soon. Be good, be bold.